Heavy rains lead to flooding in Malaysia, with Tzu Chi volunteers rushing to deliver hot meals. Tzu Chi hosts year-end gratitude concert to thank legions of frontline COVID workers in Taiwan. I'm Sean Scanlan. This is DaAi Headlines. Let's get started. Heavy rains in Malaysia have caused flooding in many places. Tzu Chi volunteers immediately mobilized to investigate, prepared hot food for distribution as soon as possible. From Friday morning, heavy rains have not stopped, and from as far as one can see, water is covering the land. On the night of the 18th, the Malaysian Meteorological Department issued a red weather warning for Klang Valley and Pahang. 11 of the 35 rivers in Selangor have water levels above dangerous levels. Severe disasters have been reported in many places.
This flood includes the entire Klang South District, and other places are not so severe. The reason why it happened is because today is the 15th day of the lunar calendar. The moon has caused the water level of the sea to rise.
Volunteers from Tzu Chi's Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter immediately mobilized to conduct a disaster survey to understand the disaster situation. The heavy rain led to widespread inundation. Even the hypermarkets are not immune. Volunteers mobilized four-wheel drive vehicles to enter the disaster area. In addition to assisting in the evacuation of survivors, they also provide hot food immediately.
Thank you. We have been hungry until now. We can't do anything. I can't go out. I have to cook and use an induction cooker, but I dare not plug it in.
We praise Klang for their high level of alertness. The reaction and speed was very positive and fast. I think what you are doing is very thoughtful. Everything has been done well, and the water hasn't receded yet. It's raining, and being the first one to deliver hot food is something very good.
All my friends are over there. His children are still at home, and they can't come out.
As the heavy rain came suddenly, people can only stay in the shelter temporarily. During their investigation of the disaster, volunteers did not forget to care about the survivors. Facing a vast ocean of water, some people said that this was the worst flooding in Klang in the past 30 years. Tzu Chi volunteers continue to collect information to provide needed food and supplies to affected villagers.
Flooding occurred in Selangor, with Klang being one of the most heavily damaged areas. Many people's houses are submerged in water. So Tzu Chi volunteers prepared 2,000 boxes of hot meals and medicine. Here's more.
While it is still pouring, Tzu Chi volunteers are preparing boxed meals in Klang.
It has been raining for 2 days in Klang, so many places are underwater now. Now we are cooking food for 400 box meals at the central kitchen. Later we'll head out to distribute them during our disaster survey.
With help from a vegetarian restaurant, the volunteers are able to provide 2,000 boxed meals. The volunteers go from door to door to give the meals to the survivors, so they may have food to eat.
One person lives there, but he has diabetes and his medicine is in another house, so we are trying to bring his medicine to him. However, the water is very deep now, so we are trying to reach his home in this four-wheeled car.
The Weather Bureau estimates that more rain is on the way for Klang in the following days. Tzu Chi volunteers have prepared instant noodles so they can use them in any emergency.
After the tornado in Kentucky, the Tzu Chi disaster survey team arrived in the hardest hit area, negotiating with the Red Cross representatives for a distribution. The current plan is to issue cash cards to 1,000 affected families before Christmas so that they can get through these difficult times.
We had a meeting this morning where various groups of the Red Cross and Tzu Chi got together and formulated a plan. The solutions that they have and the focus they have has been phenomenal. They are a great partner with the Red Cross.
We're going to work together to help some people before Christmas. We will be working together to serve the needs of the people in those other communities as well.
And when your organization told me about the monetary amount that they are going to spend here, $1,000 to everyone who's lost their home, it all spilled out. It all came out. That is, everybody's been so generous, but this one just really hit me specially.
This town is a town of 10,000 people. They estimate at least 20% of the town has been affected.
Pretty much our entire downtown area is destroyed. Our citizens are hurting. Some of them have lost their home, their transportation, and the ability to continue to work.
We're staying at a friend's house right now until we get our own house or apartment or whatever we can get for the time being. We survived. Our house did not, but we did.
When I heard what your organization was going to do for our people who have lost everything, it is overwhelming to me. I am humbled to realize what you're bringing to our community.
The Tzu Chi assistive device platform has always helped families in need by sending used assistive devices. Despite the difficulties in transportation, volunteers overcame all obstacles and are not afraid of hard work. They only hope to reduce the burden on families and improve their quality of life. Here's more.
In the evening, following the mountain road in the rain, volunteers came to Wulai to bring an electric medical bed before the recipient, Jian Meihui, was discharged from the hospital. Volunteers must step on the tin roof next door to climb up the recipient's home on the top floor. For the 18-year-old who needs to take care of his adoptive mother, this gift comes at the right time.
Like me, I'm tall. I'm 185 centimeters. The average bed is very low, and I have to bend over for a long time to take care of patients, family members, or some elderly people. Of course, it is best for us to be able to adjust the height of the bed.
Volunteers from Tzu Chi assistive device platform provide help day and night. They must achieve their mission, but they often face challenges. There's only one reason for traveling all over the place and not afraid of tightness.
It can alleviate the discomfort of our recipients. If the patient sleeps comfortably, we'll also be very happy. It's worth it.
I think the Tzu Chi assistive device platform is very good, because the assistive devices it provides are exactly what our family members need. And it has a very important concept, that is to cherish. So we use such things and cherish them very much.
The kind thought of helping others have planted the spirit of cherishing in more people's hearts.
With the pandemic continuing for 2 years, Taiwan has largely survived while remaining on high alert since May. This put a lot of pressure on frontline medical staff who have sacrificed their lives for the health of the country. Assistance has also come from the military, police, and fire department. Recently, Tzu Chi held a year-end gratitude concert thanking everyone for their hard work. Presenting a bouquet of flowers to express her deepest gratitude is Mrs. Zheng. In May of this year, she was pregnant and diagnosed with COVID at Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital. After cooperation from 5 departments, she gave birth to her baby daughter successfully. Now the mother and daughter are both well.
When this mother was sent to the emergency room, she was carrying her suitcase by herself. Actually, I was very sad, but all my colleagues in the hospital have the belief that we must save this mother and baby together.
你可不可以告诉我们你的宝宝现在已经多重了？
已经7公斤多。
哇！
让我们一家3口可以平平安安的。
Our family of 3 can stay well until now. Actually, I'm very touched. I also sincerely thank Tzu Hospital for giving me such complete care and support. This is why I came here today and meet you, as this has become a very important nutrient for me to continue my life.
谢谢我们所有医护人员的代表。
At the front line of pandemic prevention, in addition to medical care, doctors and nurse practitioners associations have come forward together to defend Taiwan. Though they are masked and covered in protection like green angels, they have risked their lives to help people everywhere.
我们综合邮政也有10几位的同仁确诊。
We Zhonghua Post also had more than a dozen colleagues diagnosed with COVID, especially at Taipei Post Office. So I am very grateful to the medical staff for caring for our colleagues, so that each one of them can all recover and return to work. I want to thank them very much.
我刚刚听到上人的话，内心是非常的感动。
When I heard what the master said just now, I was very moved in my heart. She said because the pandemic knows no borders, our love is also borderless. So thank you very much for Tzu's great love and all our loving donors.
The procurement of 15 million doses of BNT vaccine and the concerted efforts of the private sector and enterprises have all helped back the government.
Thank you very much, Master Zheng Yan. In fact, when we are planning to purchase the vaccines, the situation was not very promising. Yet our founder had already had a few video calls with the master, who gave our founder a lot of encouragement.
上人给了创办人很大的鼓励。
感谢慈济，感谢鸿海，感谢。
Thank you, Tzu Chi. Thank you, Hong Hai. Thank you, TSMC. These are the deepest gratitude from our students.
一个最感受最深的话呢。
Master Zheng Yan wasn't self-reliant as she invited the Tzu Chi Charity Foundation to donate 5 million doses of BNT vaccine, which was approved by the entire board of directors.
The master wrote this letter of gratitude and elaborated her support for the cause, and CEO Yang Bowen relayed this message of gratitude.
消防署的伙伴们，是不是站起来接受我们的掌声？
The military, police, and fire department also participate in this event, gaining blessings for the coming year.
The COVID pandemic has been raging around the world. In order to thank frontline anti-epidemic personnel and Tzu Chi volunteers for their dedication, a year-end blessing concert was held at the Xindian Jingsa Hall. Let's join the rehearsal of 3 performing groups, Youth Theater, Muller Chamber Choir, and Zhu Percussion Group, and see how they provide the audience strength and stability. Take a look.
The majestic and percussive drumming sound, together with the excellent dancing performance combining power and beauty, are inspiring to many.
那么同时，鼓声我觉得它是
I think the drum sound has a stabilizing effect. No matter what kind of challenge we will encounter in the future, we should move forward firmly, just like the drumming sound.
像鼓声一样坚定，然后再往前走的力量。
With the sound of the male chorus, the Muller Chamber Choir presented the perfect singing rhythm to the audience.
如何去为自己的生命在有限的生命
How to make a dedication in a limited life, how to express gratefulness to our family, our relatives, friends around us, and even our society, how to infinitely amplify our limited strength.
Composing a sweet melody with drumsticks and piano keys, the Tzu percussion group used keyboard instruments to make a pleasant melody.
When you forcefully bend an object, the strength of its rebound may be even bigger. So with the same thought in mind, are we good to nature or the environment? If we treat it badly, we need to bear and accept the consequence.
The street performing groups would perform in a year-end blessing concert together, thanking the frontline anti-pandemic personnel and Tzu Chi's dedication to safeguarding lives with wonderful performance.
The COVID-19 pandemic has lasted for 2 years, with many people contributing their efforts to fight it. Tzu Chi Foundation held a year-end blessing concert at the Xindian Jingsa Hall to thank unsung heroes. Here's more.
This has been braised for half an hour. It generally took 1.5 hours to 2 hours to get it done.
It seemed quite simple to cook braised dry tofu, yet it takes time and needs mindful skill.
Cook until the sauce is fully absorbed. This is not my only signature dish. This one is also.
Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Li-fen, who got a license in vegetarian cooking for more than 10 years, mixed 3 kinds of flour to fry pumpkin.
There is low-gluten flour, corn flour, and crispy fried powder to keep the original sweetness of the pumpkin.
Volunteers need to prepare meal boxes for nearly 20 functional groups, so they had to count the number of meal boxes in each plastic box again and again.
There are 400 meal boxes and buffet for 60 people.
6 home-style dishes were made diligently and lined up on the desk, especially this one with a special taste.
It is very simple, but it has a special technique. That is, the celery and red carrots are needed to be boiled first. I didn't know it before.
There were more than 30 volunteers performing different duties in the kitchen, while on the stage, other volunteers were busy with the decoration.
This pot is about 50 to 60 kilograms. It is provided free of charge by Tzu Chi brother Yang Qingfu. It looks so real, but actually it is made with styrofoam, so it is not heavy. This one is borrowed from Tzu Chi's sister Tang Meiyun.
Every volunteer has contributed their efforts in achieving the year-end blessing concert.
Every baby is an angel, yet not every baby is born into a loving environment. In 2020, among sexual abuse cases, 5,979 cases were children, as boys under 18 years old experienced an increase of abuse frequency. After 3 days, investigators can filter up to 70% of evidence. As time goes on, the DNA collected from items will have a lower rate of detection. Let's see how investigators collect evidence in the immediate moment. Take a look.
When the child is in this room, we will pull the curtains so they don't see what is behind it, and they don't feel scared. I will tell them that we have to do a medical check first, and they must sit on a chair.
我们的医师就会先用这样子的一个最低的，让小朋友先上去之后，就是在调整医师他能够检诊的一个高度，然后帮小朋友做检查。
铺在地上，被铺一个白色的纸啊，让那个被害者身上的。
I will lay a white mat for victims to step on, and the evidence falling from their clothes will be collected. After removing their clothing, any evidence gathered will be stored in a bag. It will be sent to platform, as doctors will use Q-tip to collect potential evidence. After collecting, it will be stored in a box. If we have to collect samples from the cervix, we will have to use the pap smear test. If the victim has skin tissue from criminal, we will collect samples from their nails. We do this by asking them to cut their nails and put them inside a Ziploc as evidence. After collecting everything, we will put the evidence inside a box, and we will ship the box to police officers or Women and Children Protection Brigade.
就是封起来，跟那个妇幼队的警方对点。
性侵并不代表只有是女性啊，所以我们讲这个是有时候是一个观念上的啦。以前
Sexual abuse cases aren't just limited to female. In the past, my teacher told me that urology serves children to seniors, and through child protection experiences, I knew that I'm serving people from 0 to 100 years old.
我的这一个经验就更加我们知道，就从0岁到100岁都是我们要关心的对象。
There was a boy. He told me that he was forced to clip a bookmark onto his testicle. I was confused. I asked him just unclip it, but he told me he's afraid of punishments.
就把它拔开就好了啦，因为我不敢啊，怕被打还是被骂。
尿液它比较不具侵入性，而且采。
Urine isn't a direct way, and it's easier to collect. So collecting urine specimen is one of the main methods of drug detection. But because urine will dissolve over time, or there can be fake samples, so through comparing creatinine, the ratio between acid and basic, we are able to tell if the sample is true or not.
确认这个尿液检体的真实性。
This is the HPLC device. As of now, our lab uses these to detect samples of union and items. Especially sexual abuse cases, the device can detect up to 100 types of drugs. Normally, the device will analyze first and connect to mass spectrograph. Afterwards, we will be able to know if there is drug content in the specimen. The growth of hair is about 1 centimeter per month, unless the hair was damaged through dyeing, causing the trace of the drugs to disappear. If not, the person can keep their hair condition fully. For example, half a year ago, a person started taking drugs from his scalp. It's about 6 centimeters and 6 centimeters away from his scalp. There is an area for us to detect drug use.
之前是有服用怎么样的一个药物成分？
Kaohsiung City invited artist Yang Min Hong to use his ingenuity to recycle thousands of obsolete classroom chairs into an installation art piece, which can double as a lantern for the upcoming festival. We leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.